Hey there guys, I got a new knife for you. So what I have here is the DPX Gear Heat F. This one is the full tie version. They have different versions. They have one with G10 and this one is the full tie, of course. It's got this cool handle side which is engraved. What's the word I'm looking for? It's got this 3D pattern like a diamond pattern, right? It is contoured. You guys can see that. So you can see it kind of like rounds off, so it's thicker on this end than towards the end. Well, actually, if you look at it, it looks like it gets thicker on the butt too. So I'll explain it. It's rounded here, and then maybe tapers off here, and then rounds off on the ends again. But it feels good in hand. It feels good. You feel like you got a good grip on it. This texture is, it's not super grippy, which is nice because you don't want it super aggressive, but definitely feels good in hand when you're holding it. Let's go over it. I had a whole plan how to do this, but I'm just going to go over it really quick. So it's perfectly centered. Came perfectly centered. Very nice. It does flick out, you know, if you let it. It does have that wave feature bottle opener, so that's kind of nice. One thing I noticed right away with this knife compared to my DPXS, there was really no breaking in period, so that was nice. By that I mean it was pretty smooth, right? And I don't know if they carbonized the locks now, but there's no lock stick. Whereas on my Hess, this thing was a mother. I mean, I had to break this in and break this in. I mean, I had to 4-finger unlock this bad boy. But of course, now that it's broken in a couple of years, no problem. But it was nice that they addressed that on this knife. And again, this still has to break in, so it was nice that they addressed that. No stick at all. Again, perfectly centered. Lockup is nice and early, right? Let's take a look at it. The blade steel is Niolox. Niolox steel, I believe that's how you pronounce it. So that's kind of like a D2-like steel. Yeah, they compare it to the wear resistance of D2. So for you guys that are D2 steel fans, this is a good tool steel. It's supposed to be stain resistant and it holds a good edge. So and what I like about it, it's a nice size, especially if you live in a liberal state where people panic when you break out a big 3.5-inch blade. You get this one. The blade length is only 2.26 inches, so it's nice. I mean, it looks cool. It looks very tactile, especially with the wave feature. But when it's closed, it looks nice. It just looks like a nice folder. I have some knives here to compare it to so you guys get an idea. But first, let's get over the specs. So it's titanium handles on both sides, and again, they have it with G10. I think they have it in in black and OD green, I believe. I would have gotten the G10 version, but I believe the G10 version doesn't have a titanium liner. I think it's just G10 on one side. So I kind of like, I know G10 is very strong, but I kind of like want like a titanium liner, like with my Hest over here. See how it has a titanium. Oh, wait a second. This doesn't have it. All right. Should have did your homework, Michael. So it's just like this. So it's G10 on one side. And you know what? This has stood the test of time and no issues. So, well, look at me, looking at you. What am I talking about? Anyway. So I just preferred it to have like I would prefer to have like a titanium frame over the G10, under the G10, over the G10. But anyways, that's why I went with this one. Actually, I've been thinking about getting this ever since I heard the advertising for it. I get the DPX Gear email, and I saw that this was there was a pre-order for this, I believe, and I think it was like $200 from DPX. I should have just bought it then, but I was hemming and hawing. I was trying to get some other knives, so I wasn't sure. And then I saw, because I got a heavy OCD, I went to the DPX site and I saw it was sold out. Like, fish, I should have bought that one. Then I saw Blade HQ, so I did pay a little bit more, Blade HQ, but let's see what I got. Number what I got. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see that. So I got number 140 out of 250. So they have over 100 left, I would think, unless they just willy-nilly pick one out. I was a pain in the ass with Blade HQ, and I told them to find me the most perfectly centered, perfectly perfect handle, no scratches, you know. So maybe they just grabbed it. Who knows? Maybe they have more. But pretty cool. I like it. I like it. It's a nice size again. So definitely pocketable. Oh, let's do some comparisons. So nice blade shape, nice titanium handles. It's got that DPX pocket clip, a little thicker, a little wider than I would want it, but I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know. I guess if you're wearing like heavy duty pants that are thicker, this would be perfect for it. It does have a glass breaker, as you can see there. It's not as aggressive as my my Hess, so they definitely, I'm sure they were listening to their customers. It's got standoffs instead of a G10 backspacer. Yeah, I like it. I like that they didn't make this a black pocket clip. I like that. It's also it's got like a bead blast, so it kind of like matches the finish. So that was a nice touch. So let's compare it to the Hess. So here's the Hess. Oh, here's big difference. They don't have a proprietary pivot anymore, which this doesn't require. It's just a regular Torx, so it doesn't require a tool like this one came with, right? So they took care of that. That was nice. Easily adjustable. Everything's Torx. It still has the wave feature. Let's see. Oh, so they got rid of this lock stabilizer, which is nice. This is nice, but you know, was it really necessary? Probably not. Right? I'll just show you guys the glass breaker. You can see that it's definitely more aggressive on the Hess than the Heat. It does come with a flatter, I don't know, replacement if you don't like this glass breaker feature. So that does come. Replace it. Let's see. Yeah, just a nice shape of a knife. It's a good looking knife. I'm glad I got it. I don't regret it. It's definitely a nice little EDC carry. It's a good looking blade shape. Somebody on Instagram, when I posted a pic, said it looks like a die wear. It definitely does. It definitely looks like a die wear. I happen to have a die wear. So I'll just show you guys the influence there. I don't know if it was an influence or who knows. It definitely looks a lot like, it looks like this die wear shitted out this knife. So it's baby brother. So it's definitely got the same shape, except it's not a flipper. So definitely. Absolutely. I concur. Whoever that gentleman was on Instagram. Good call. Let's see. What else? Very smooth. I mean, you can deploy it nicely like that. No play at all whatsoever. The blade finish is nice. It's got like, let me clean it up because I got fingerprints on it, but it's got like this finish on it that makes it almost shiny. Right? It's a Stonewash. But it's got like, I don't know if it's got a coating on it, but it's got a nice, clean, shiny finish on it. But, now, but I've been translated on video, but it's pretty cool. What else? Again, the blade length is 2.26 inches. Nice, thick stock of the blade. So it looks very durable. Overall length is 6.24, right? So if you guys don't have a die wear, I brought something very comparable in size to it. There it is. So it's a little bit bigger than my my Spyderco over here, my Dragonfly. Just give you guys an idea. So if you have a Dragonfly 2, it's not much bigger. Maybe like an inch bigger. Let's see. It weighs about 4 ounces. You know what I love? I love this checkering thing, this diamond pattern. It's really nice. I like the way they did it. It's got a little jimping over here. I don't know if that acts as a jimping that bottle opener, but jimping here, jimping down here. You can get a look at the thickness of the titanium. So it's definitely a thick piece of titanium that's contoured off nicely. Yeah. So that's the heat. I didn't realize that my Hess had no liner. I just thought it had a liner. I remembered it differently. But this, remember when everyone was knocking the Hess? This is a good knife. This is a good EDC knife. This thing, these are one of my users. It's got this coating on it. I forget what this coating is, but you can see that it's got, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's pretty tough. See the scratch marks on it? But it holds up pretty good. Not that I'm a heavy user anyway, but I don't hesitate to like cut rope or strings or boxes with this thing. You know, but this coating, I don't know if this is DLC, it's pretty good. Not bad. As you see, it still sticks every now and then. Every now and then it still sticks. But they definitely addressed that with this one. Awesome. And I don't remember if my Hess had a late lockup, but this definitely doesn't. This is an early lockup. Very nice. Very impressed with it. It's nice that it came perfectly centered. That's always a nice thing, right? It just, I know it doesn't mean much to people, but when I get a knife and it's not centered, it just messes me all up, you know? Right away I'm thinking quality issue, but this one, perfect. Perfect. Very smooth. I play with this, love opening this all day. And it's not threatening at all, you know? You can sit at your desk if you have an office job and you're just concentrating on what you're reading, you can open this up and people are like, what is that? It's got a cool sound too when it locks up. You guys hear that? It almost reminds me of Nick's Direware. I think he's got a Solo. I forget what Nick has. But when you open it up, you can hear the echoing of the lockup. Sounds good. Doesn't that sound good? If you open it up this way, it's different. A little different. But if you open it this way, I don't know. I just like that sound. That just sounds like awesomeness. Let's see. I mean, I guess if you want to get this pimp, you can get this pimp if you want to add some color to it. I kind of like this natural silver looking color. Just a good size blade. You know? It's gone. Tiny. Definitely very pocketable. I know I'm forgetting something, but whatever. I think I covered everything. I've never had Niolox steel, so I don't really have any experience with it. But if it's like D2 steel, I think that should be pretty tough. Dual thumb studs. Very nice. Alright guys, I'm sure I'm going to think of something else that I missed, but I can't think of it right now. But, oh, here's the thing. Here's the replacement. If you don't like this glass breaker, you can put this more fancy looking thing over there. I wonder if that's replaceable. Like if I want to put this glass breaker over here, it'll probably fit. So DPX definitely listens to their customers because they definitely made some nice adjustments. So it's good. Very nice. Alright guys, peace.